Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to episode 273 of the Receipts podcast. We are both still in different countries, different continents, but the same good vibes. It's your girl, Tolly T.
And just call me Audrey. That wasn't delay of sound. That was delay of us, by the way.
Also, it sounded quite cat-like there. It didn't sound like a sexy owl. It just sounded like a cat. I need to revisit something from last week, Ords.
Oh, okay. I know what you're going to say. Please do.
Yeah. So we need to revisit the Danish... I was going to say Turkish termination.
Turkish delight.
The Danish deception. Mainly because when we spoke about it, neither of us has watched it, right? No. But I did think we did a very good job at moving it on. We didn't stay on something we didn't watch.
Yeah, thank God.
Like, talked about it briefly and then been like, okay, lending money and borrowing money. Okay, cool. So thankfully, somebody had put it all together and on YouTube.
I love efficient people.
Put all the clips together. But also, when people do that, do they earn money? Does she get all of the YouTube money from it?
No, I don't think so, because I've realised, because Nick watches a lot of YouTube content, and there are people that have pages dedicated to just clips that they've collated, and I assume that the money goes straight to them. Do you know what I mean?
So,
people are making money off of it. So I doubt it.
So someone put it there, and every time I was getting ready to go out, I'll put it on like a podcast, and I'll just be listening to it as she is talking. So, in your reporting of it, there was a few alternative facts here or there.
I just want to say, I didn't watch it at all. I watched a 2-minute summary, and I forgot half of what was said in the 2 minutes.
Audrey, journalism, we are lacking here. When people complain about content creators and journalists, this is what the complaints about. That is poor on our end.
And I actually have a whole qualification as well. Apologies.
Exactly. We do apologise. I have gone to listen to the 4-hour.
Phew.
4-hour compilation of it. I listened to it in segmented ways. Yep. Like 1 hour of getting ready. I think within honestly, I think it took me the whole week to actually properly listening to the whole thing, right? And nothing, you didn't say anything weird, like that bad. It was like maybe you said the wrong type of car. Or that it wasn't he didn't get money from her sister for the car. He got money from someone else for the car. But basically, all in all of her family gave this man money. But very interestingly, after I listened to it, I don't think he's a fraudster per se or a con man per se.
Oh, what a take. Explain.
I know. I just think he had a gambling problem and he just wanted to get money in any way possible. He did have a gambling problem. That was the thing. So he had a gambling problem. Yeah.
She didn't say that in the 2-minute review that I watched.
No, so in the 4-hour, there was a lot of mention of his gambling problem and his family tried to help him out for years and even his sister. So I think when people have gambling problems, obviously they become liars. No, I'm not saying he was a good person, blah, 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 blah. Clearly he was flawed and blah, blah, but they become liars. The same with any kind of addiction. They lie to be able to get what it is. And thankfully, I don't know anybody with a gambling addiction, but what I've read about it, the streets say that shit is wild. They will put their last penny. They will just do anything possible. And I think that's what it was. Because because a lot of these con people, when they fuck off. But when he was spending on her.
Also, he was a generous gambling addict.
Yeah. Anytime. And also, it was just such a weird way of the man, I was like, oh, we had no money, but then we went on holiday. We had no money, then we went to Cuba. Then we had no money. I'm just like, girl, what is going on here? And I think because even when she contacted his ex-partner, and the girl was like, I was with him for 7 years and he just wasn't changing, and the problem was the gambling.
Right, okay.
So I don't think he met this girl with the intention of I might be wrong, but I don't think he met with the intention of I'm going to rob you. I think he met her, liked her, and then his gambling problem popped up again, and it was like, well, I'm going to have to get money. But the stickler for me, and what I will never understand, is why her family gave him money without telling her that they gave him money.
Yeah, that's very odd behaviour.
That is so confusing to me.
That is very, very odd. Yeah.
Her sister, her cousin, her mum and dad.
And did she explain what he was saying to them to get this money out of them in the first place and why they might be secretive about it?
So apparently he told all of them, don't tell her.
And that was enough.
But apparently he said, don't tell her. But one of it was he has some investment he was trying to do, and he wanted to buy a car, but it wasn't for her, but he wanted to buy some car. But like, why is her cousin giving him money to buy a car? None of them. I don't know, what kind of stupid generous family is this?
Yeah, exactly. They got money to
because
burn,
like, this guy married her. I mean, went back to the village with her. He did all of that shit with her.
Yeah, I saw those clips. Yeah,
I think she was just very happy to be with like. He was, of course, he was a liar, like manipulative, blah 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 blah. But I think that stemmed from his gambling problem rather than it stemming from I've come here to con this girl. Is what I think anyway. Again,
what did she say when she talked about him leaving her? Like, so, how did they end the relationship?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So one day, obviously because he's got his problem, right? She kept like checking his phone and seeing like and will always bring things up. So I think he got to the point where like he was like, "Bruh, like I'm done. Like you're never gonna trust me. There's no point in going back and forth about this. Blah 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 blah. I'm done," sort of thing. And she said she was begging.
Oh my God.
Begging you. She was begging. She said she at a point she took his passport.
Oh,
so he couldn't travel back to Damon. No, oh wow, Denmark. Damon.
Oh, like she took his passport.
Yeah. So she did not want it to end. She was like really, really did not want it to end. Was like, we can work it out, please, and blah 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 blah. Eventually she was like, oh, when she started realizing that, when she started telling people that I gave him this one and someone was like, oh, so did we, then she decided that, oh no, she wasn't anything to do with him. But prior to that, she was down to stay. She was down for the ride.
Ooh, my God.
Yeah.
My God, so, she really loved that man, because even after we did the episode, I did try and go and watch it, and I started, but then I felt like in the beginning, part one, there was too much detail in the beginning. There was too much backstory about how I loved him. Yeah, exactly. Like when she was she literally down to the drinks that they had at the beach club in Croatia. I was like, I don't care. Like, get to the gist.
There wasn't any big gist for me, you know. Maybe because I listen to these kind of stories so often, I'm like, oh, that's what people have suffered. But she took, there was a lot of back end, oh, we fell in love with this, and then I bought Chanel bag and we had conversation. And if you've never been in love, love feels like this, and you're drowning in things. We have heard, please.
Yeah, it was incredibly descriptive from part one of what I saw.
I don't know how she remembered it all.
Yeah, same. Like she proper, I guess, and if it's a love that deep, you might remember all the details. But yeah, she loved that man. She loved that man. But there's a lot of people
very, very loved that man,
because apparently she came back and did another video basically saying how like the black community haven't been supportive of her, and how it's other communities that have been supportive of her, and it's just like. Because how many times have we been telling you don't give men money? Like I don't understand how hard does that message have to be drummed into people's heads? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so she was doing all of that saying, oh, you know, black women haven't backed her. Do you know what's mad? Sorry, this is such a mad like diversion, yeah? But okay, so you know Money Long? I didn't know that she has like this reputation for being so unlikable, right? So basically, do you remember, and I think we talked about it, so I remember there was some award show, I think it was BET Awards, and they did a Mariah Carey tribute, yeah?
And Mariah was just like...
and Mariah was just like...
Stop this bullshit.
Everyone was saying, Mariah wasn't happy with the performances. I think Tiana Taylor performed, Tori Kelly, who's got a banging voice, Money Long, and there was a couple of others and I can't remember.
Mariah's very like Prince in that way. When people perform a tribute to her, she just kind of sits there. The only time I've seen her happy was when Kelly Rowland did a performance for her. Then she was smiling. Apart from that, I never saw a woman happy. Yeah.
So even when that was happening, I remember, because people were being like, she didn't appreciate the performances, she didn't like them, she thought they were trash or whatever, but I was just like, I just think that her face, she can't really give much expression, so that's what I put it down to. So anyway, so Money Long was one of the performers, and then come to find out, apparently Mariah does not like people doing her songs at all. She's not here for it. So her whole thing is like, give me all of the adorations and give me my flowers, just not with my music. Yeah.
You know what? I kind of hear it.
Yeah. She's very, very precious. She's an artist and she's very precious and sensitive about her shit. Speak life into me. Yeah.
Why are you singing my songs like like, why are you imitating me?
So she does not like it. So I think that probably speaks to why her facial expressions were quite like stiff, yeah? So anyway, apparently she had made it clear that she was not feeling Money Long's performance or something, and then after, in an interview, she was asked, oh, what did you think of that performance? And she said, I didn't see it, but she was there. Do you know how rude that is? ironic. It's so bad to be this rude, but my God, like
Why
you
did she
were
say
there.
that? Why did she say I wasn't there? We've got a camera. Why did she say that?
She said that she didn't see it. Yeah. So
It's Mariah Carey beautiful gowns as well. No, that's
Aretha Franklin.
That's Aretha Franklin. Okay.
No, Mariah Carey is I don't know her.
That's it. I don't know.
Yeah,
yes, you are right.
So she said she didn't see it. Yeah, and so obviously Money Long's like pissed off about it because she's like, "Oh, I've come to do a tribute to you. You're an icon." Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And so what Money Long did, so this was ages ago. So recently, Money Long's done like this revenge thing where she's done, I think it's like an intro to her music video or just a skit that she's put out. I'm not actually exactly sure what the content is, but she's basically got a drag version of Mariah, and they're kind of reenacting like Pop Idol or X Factor where Mariah was a judge, and it's very shady. And it's like
when Mariah got the fake Eminem in the video.
Exactly. It's kind of like that. But I'm not gonna lie, like the drag version of Mariah eats. Like I actually thought it was her at one point. I saw it, I was like, oh my God, that's Mariah. Like how did this happen? But it isn't. And so she's kind of like mocking her for being a diva and doing all of that. And then everyone's like, no, you don't do that to an icon. But it's just like, no, she was rude to me first. Like she watched my performance and said she didn't see it.
It's actually so mad how the idea of icon, right, means that so many... Do you know, it's not even just icon. A lot of... When people get older, they start to misbehave and just do anything. And you just meant to take it because they're older than you and they're iconic. I think by just the title of like all of the Aretha Franklins, put in LaBelle, like, they can all misbehave because it was like, well, I guess they're icons. They can do what they want. But, of course, do what you want. But there's consequences. Like, what if I want to act back? Exactly. I mean, the thing is, Money Long is brave for that because you are always going to get critiqued. You're not going to do something like that and people are going to be like, oh, well done to you. Like, a lot of the icons can be quite, like, bully-like and be like, well, they're icons, they're divas, it's what we expect.
And this is the thing, because it kind of reminds me of that whole notion of, like, respect your elders, yeah? And it's just like, an elder person is just going to talk down to you. But there's always that one kid that's like, I don't care that you're older than me, I'm going to check you. And that's what it kind of reminded me of, Money, like, responding. But the only thing I think ordinarily she might have gotten away with it, but she's had something else about her. She's come out on Instagram Live and said that how black women are the only people that give her a hard time. And then she was basically getting dragged and people were saying black women are the only people that know who you are, hun. Do you know what I mean?
Also, that's what I was going to say. But also I was going to say black women are the only ones that probably give her love as well.
Exactly. So I just think for her, it's not... the timing's probably not great, but I think one thing about her, she's going to defend herself, and some people are like that. Like some people, they don't care about an audience, they don't care about fans. It's just like, no, you're not going to disrespect me. I don't care that I'm on a platform. I don't care that I've got visibility. I don't care that I have essentially people that need to buy into me and buy my music for me to, you know, be successful, whatever. I'm not going to tolerate disrespect, and I think that's more so what it is. But I just think it's mad that Mariah says she didn't see it. Like that is what that is what I'm leading with. Like I can't believe she watched the performance and said she didn't because they asked her. What did the
interviewer say after? Like, well, we saw you there.
You were there. She was like, no, I didn't see it.
Do you know what? I'm going to start doing it when people ask questions that I don't want to answer.
Yeah, just be like, I don't know.
And it sounds like, I actually don't know. I wasn't on the podcast at that time. Like, exactly. You said the whole time. Actually,
I was sick that day. I don't know. I don't know what to
Did
tell
you miss
you.
the episode? No, I was sick that day.
That's the one day I was sick. Yeah.
I was sick. Like,
yeah, exactly. What? Argue amongst yourselves. I don't really know what to tell you, but I just thought that was bloody hilarious.
Even you talking about the respect your elders thing. Okay, so every time I'm in Nigeria, one thing I find really weird, it's not even just, I think I felt it a little bit in Ghana as well, is classism. Let me speak for Nigeria. Nigeria is extremely classist. Like it's been like, it makes me feel very, very uncomfortable, right? And it's really interesting because I've had very deep thoughts about this. I think the Nigerians that left Nigeria, let's say for example, my mum that left Nigeria and brought us up in England, right? She took very old-fashioned learnings with her, and that's how we were brought up. And then you come here and you're like, oh, actually, how I was brought up was a bit probably more stricter than the kids who were here were brought up. Because their parents were more flexible, whereas our parents are very like, England is not going to ruin you, so I'm going to give you the harshest hand. Like a lot of my friends here don't speak Yoruba. My mum made sure I spoke Yoruba, and even though I grew up in England, I'd always say that my mum didn't let me speak English in the house. Like I was never allowed to speak English in the house. I always had to speak Yoruba because she was like, no, you're not going to lose that part of you. And even the respect your elders thing. So like, because it's so classist, right? Just by virtue of I'm apparently doing better, like money-wise, right? Like, let's say, for example, you have help or a driver. They're calling me ma. But I'm like,
It doesn't matter that you're younger. Yeah.
So it's really spinning me. Like, I saw someone the other day who was like the help, like the house manager, help person. And she was an older woman. So I was like, good afternoon, ma. And everyone was like, what are you doing? But I was like, but I was taught regardless of anything, that person is older than you. So it's not that, but she's the cleaner here, she's this here. And I think a lot of African kids in the UK, we keep it, even if the auntie is the cleaner, you're still auntying her.
Of course, yeah. 100%.
You're still, that's still auntie, you're still giving her that respect of elderly. But I think respect here comes with virtue of how much money you have, rather than age. Maybe amongst people all of the same class, maybe the age thing will come into play. But when it's different classes, that always overrules. I find it so uncomfortable.
Yeah, same. Because I'm exactly the same. It's just like if you're older, it's like for me, and I think because we're here, because we were raised here, we're dealing with so many other things. So like you were saying, it's holding on to that idea of like respect culturally, what it looks like. It's almost exactly. It's almost like an overcompensation. Whereas back home, you're there. Do you know what I mean? You don't necessarily have anything.
I don't need to.
You don't need to overcompensate. You've got nothing to prove. You're there. You're living back home, whatever. But over here, it's just like it's that thing of you don't want to lose the culture, and so our parents will do the most, because there's just never a world in which, same like what you're saying, in which someone older than me, like I can kind of like treat them like they're the same level as me.
There was a reason why I'm so uncomfortable with having a black cleaner in my house. Like an auntie, I can't do it. An auntie cleaner, I can't do it.
I will just let them sit down for the hour.
Yeah, I'm like, sit down, I'll do it.
I'll serve you. I'll bring you tea. I'll bring you breakfast. What do you want, auntie? What do you want?
Like, as soon as I see her moving, I'm like, no, don't worry, I'll do it. I won't be able to. Like, I was doing that for my lovely Lithuanian lady. I had to start leaving the house. I was like, you know what, I can't keep doing, what's the point of getting a cleaner when I'm the one doing it? Let me just leave the house. Like, she'll be downstairs, I'll start doing upstairs. I'm like, it's not too much.
You always say like, oh, my cleaner's coming tomorrow, I need to tidy up. I'm like,
I always do. I always clean before my cleaner comes. I don't know what it is. It's like I want her to not have to do too much.
I hear it.
So I'll do the whole house, and I'll just leave the things I don't like doing. So I'll just leave the I don't like washing a bath. I hate washing a bath and the shower and the toilet. I hate it.
I don't like.
And I think that's because growing up that was my chore. And every Saturday that I had to wash the toilet, I remember I'd be there, I'd be like, when I grow up, I'll never do this. I'll never do this. So I hate doing that. So I always just leave that. But everything else, she comes, she's like, why did you call me to come in today? I was like, I just need to wash the toilet.
Here. Just do the deep clean. This episode is sponsored by Boots, the beauty destination this Christmas.
Okay, so I don't mean to brag. I really don't, but I'm going to brag. I have been on top of my Christmas shopping this year, and Boots has been my go-to place.
I absolutely agree. And do you know what? Yeah, you can always trust Boots to have the best new exclusive trending beauty gifts. I mean, who doesn't love perfume or skincare?
Okay, so I am all over skincare and beauty products. I love it for me. I love it for my friends. And sometimes, with all the love in the world, I kind of look at them and think, okay, what do I think you need? And then I get them that as a gift. I think it's always really nice to try something that you've actually never used before. Because often you buy the same beauty products all the time. So if I'm going to gift you, I'm going to give you something new and exciting, something you haven't tried yet.
Yeah, I love that for us.
And something that's like I've tried, but I don't think everybody else has, is I'm a cleansing balm babe. It's honestly the first thing I do when I start like taking off my makeup. And I have a new favourite, and I think it's only right that I gift the people I love it. And it's the LMS Pro Collagen Black Cherry Cleansing Balm. I love it. It's great. Would recommend. So it's a gift.
And what I want to gift to my younger cousin, because she's just about to start her skincare journey, is the Happy 4-step routine. So I think it's perfect for younger girls that are just about to enter the world of skincare. And I think she'd love it. And it's available on boots.com from the 14th of November.
Do you know what I like about it? I've seen it. It's the bright colours. I am a sucker for things that are bright colours, especially when I'm gifting things as well. And also what I absolutely love doing is that like giving little gifts in addition to the big gifts. So I'll like throw in like the Boots Glossy Balm Trio. Because it's like got 3 different colours. Who doesn't love lip gloss? I put lip gloss in my car, in my handbag, and in every room in my house somewhere. And I think everyone else should do that too.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you know what? You know how we always talk about like our everything shower? I think the Estridge Complete Shave Set is perfect. I just think like who doesn't want to luxuriate while shaving?
Not luxuriate.
Who doesn't want to luxuriate whilst they're having their everything shower? I think it's the perfect gift. And guys, don't forget to collect points on your Boots Advantage card.
Gift happily ever after with Boots. Shop in store, online or on the app.
Products in selected stores, subject to availability.
3 for 2 on gifts marked with the parcel symbol.
Every third product is free. But also, just going back to what you were saying, do you think, that also back home maybe class is showing up more to you because there isn't such a focus on racism, whereas here we're so heavily focused on racism, we don't necessarily have time to observe all of the other isms and schisms that surround us. Do you know what I mean?
That is a great point. Yeah, definitely. And I think that, and also the fact that in England, I'm working class. So to now be a different class, so overtly a different class here, is also really weird for me.
Oh God, how confusing.
Yeah. Like, it's like, oh, you're overtly not seen as working class here. Like, I said, let me tell you how overtly classist Nigeria is. Let's say, like, you go to, let's say Westfield, not as big as Westfield, right? And if your car is a certain way, you cannot park in West, like, you just have to drop someone and they have to walk in. You cannot drive in there. Whereas that, like, here, because I've had a relatively nice car, they let me park inside, but I've seen other cars, they're like, no, you can't enter.
Oh no.
So it's not like the person in the car can't go in the venue, but you drop them here and they walk in. But the fact that your car can be parked inside, myth.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It makes me feel so uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's such a mad thing. I just think that in different societies everywhere, everyone's operating under a different thing. Do you know what I mean? It's just like over there, I just feel like I'm starting to wonder, as human beings, is it just innate that we just hierarchy just shows up in different ways? Do you know what I mean? Like in the Western world, it's going to be race. You know, in Africa, it's going to be tribalism or it's going to be classism, and we just can't help ourselves. Like
I do think the world feels like it has to, for it to maneuver, for it to manage, it has to put groups. I think the world actually feels like the only way we can actually do this thing is by grouping and hierarchy, and otherwise it doesn't work and everyone's running around mentally. I don't know whoever set up the system, but there's always a system of this above this, above this, above this, and it's whatever the state values. For example, like in the Western world, whiteness is valued, right? Like as in, that's what's valued, so that's what the hierarchy is. Even, oh my God, in the supermarket the other day, Audrey, I was going to box up this little white woman because she was trying to bring her white privilege to Africa. I thought, no, my watch, no. I was so angry. So I see this woman walking around being really like rude to everyone, and I'm like, okay, it's cool, she's not talking to you, like don't carry something that's not your problem. Cool. But it's the kind of rudeness that's like, no, why are you talking to these people like this?
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes with black people in Africa, they act like the white people here are better than them. And Audrey, I was just like, I literally said to her, I was like, you're not going to bring that here. And I literally, I was like to the woman serving, I was like, why are you letting her treat you like this? If it was an English treat like this, if you're here, you should treat me like this. As in, why is she allowed to talk to you like this? Just by virtue of her being a white woman. Don't let that thing, like, she's not superior to you.
Yeah, that's the thing, because if it was, because people stand up for themselves if it was a black woman. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a level of like, oh, okay, this is customer service versus like, okay, you're being disrespectful, and you can stand up. You can stand up for yourself in a way that's not disrespectful, but just like, but yeah, you see it all the time, isn't it? It's just like this excitement for non-black people when they're there, and this just internalized like just level of respect. Like what?
I always remember that episode of you being like, hey, the Chinese people are really like not to be like this. No offense. And I was like, Audrey, Chinese people are allowed to be in Africa, but I've apologized to you for that. Like, you make a point. There is something going on that we do not know about. And
there was a restaurant in Ghana that was banning. There was a restaurant in Ghana that was banning black people.
That happened in Nigeria as well. There's Chinese restaurant. Happened in Nigeria as well. There's a Chinese restaurant that was saying black people could not go in. Are you insane?
Yeah, exactly. That is insane. That is absolutely insane.
Relax, man. People can travel. Like, and then I was like, actually.
No, but remember that's how colonization started. Remember, people traveled because they were curious. They were like, oh, what's going on over there? And then the next thing you know, colonization.
We own it. It's not ours.
And you have to be careful. And the thing is, we have the privilege because we have history. Do you know what I mean? So we have to look to previous behaviors to be like, how does it start? And it never starts off like everyone just comes over all of a sudden. Do you know what I mean? It's like people come in and reporting back, oh, they've got this there, they've got this there, blah, blah, blah. And it starts off slow. Do you know what I mean?
The other way. Why couldn't we colonize England?
We're not organised enough.
Before we'll die. Before we take over one borough in London. Let alone England.
Exactly. But yeah, so it's just I know it sounds so lame and so idealistic, but I'm just like, why can't everyone just do things fairly?
Really,
do you know? I'm just like, okay, Africa has these resources. Why can't we just say, in exchange for this, in exchange for that, and do it equally so that everything can be? And I know it's so pathetic, and I know that's not how power works. I know it, but in my mind, I'm just like, everyone can actually have exactly. Right? And the thing is, we don't even have to eradicate hierarchy, because you still need leadership. You still need. Do you know what I mean? But why can't the people on top, people that are leaders, just want equity for everybody, and everybody's continent can thrive, everybody's resources can benefit everybody in tandem.
What's the? Oh my god, I feel so stupid. There is a method, the thing that's like, that's how we should live. But I can't remember what it's called now.
Is it communists? Or is it socialists? I never know which one's which. Ren, I'm looking at you. I don't think Friend's listening. But yeah, I just think, oh my God, like, everyone's got something to give that can make this world thrive and survive. Let's just do it fairly. Like, why does everyone have to be so damn greedy?
Because we're humans, and we're
maybe because I'm not a power-hungry person.
And in the words of the very flawed man, Kanye West, no one man should have all this power.
Yeah, he didn't lie when he said that.
All these people should not have the power that they have.
He did not lie when he said that if he left us with one good thing, and not that he's no longer with us,
he's still alive.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, oh, it's sad. It's so
from one flawed man to the other. P. Diddy, Sean Combs.
Woo, child.
Have you watched the documentary yet?
I was watching it on my way in. I had no idea that it was like a 5-part series or a 4-part series.
I just thought it was a one-off as well, yeah.
Same. So I thought it was a one-off. And I saw an hour and I was like, oh, there's no... he must be getting straight to the gist.
Because you can't fit it all in.
Because you can't fit it all in 1 hour. But like any good documentary, it starts off at the very beginning. And as I was listening to it, and I'm actually surprised
you missed a bit. It starts off with that... Firstly... Who on Diddy's team hates him that leaked that video where he's like, we need to get...
Oh my God. Yes. So that was an insider, because that was a very intimate video. I think that was intentional. I think Curtis Jackson, and I'm going to use his government name here. I think Curtis Jackson did that on purpose. I think he was like, I'm not playing with you guys. Look at this very intimate, deeply personal video I've managed to sort of like get my hands on. I think that was very intentional to start with that, because it was just like, okay, he's got the tea.
What's Diddy's problem? There was too many footage of him losing his fucking mind, and him being aware that, like, it's not like secret cameras. Like, I said, why is there so much footage of you smashing things and shouting at people? And I said, do people hate you around you that they just keep recording all the time? Or is this just a normal behaviour from you so much that there's always going to be footage of you scream? Why was that part filmed? Why was you being filmed talking to your lawyer saying we have to get someone who works with monsters?
I think that video
was that
of him, because do you know what? Yeah, people really be documenting stuff. Like, we're the only people that haven't documented like everything.
We have done such a bad, and that's one of our biggest flaws. We've done such a bad job of
that. I just wish we had more home footage, home videos or whatever. But most people do. They film everything, because even when Yeezus came out, that was all old video, like all old footage from back in the day.
When that came out, that inspired me so. I remember
honestly,
watching that and I was like, oh my God.
Same. It was really good. So I think people are just constantly filming. So there's that. But I think, just going back to what you were saying about him screaming and shouting, I honestly think, I don't think it was performative, because obviously we know now that he's a monster. But I think in the late 80s, you know, in the 90s, that was what the ideal of like being a good businessman was, or being like motivational was. Like, times are so different now. Half the stuff that people did then, you could not get away with now. Like, it just wasn't seen as like, you need to scream and shout at your staff to be respected or to be seen as powerful. But back then it was like, you would literally, like, all of that, him jumping up and down on desks and doing the most, like, I think it was like performative, like shrewd business, like imagery kind of thing. And he didn't think it was going to come back to haunt him later. And I think that if it was isolated from how we know him to be, this like sexual deviant, disgustingly abusive man, then that probably wouldn't be seen as a bad thing, like that on its own. Like, that image of him just being incredibly disrespectful and disparaging to his staff and stuff, he could get away with that. But I think that, coupled with what we know now, it amplifies everything, and it makes everything just look so much worse. But I think in his mind, and we know people like that, we know people that think that in order to be business savvy, you need to be shrewd and you need to be nasty and you need to be underhanded. And you actually don't need to be any of those things to be respectable and to be respected. But I just think that he was just a very performative person in general, and all of that was just bravado. But I just think 50 getting hold of that footage is crazy. It's just crazy. Like, someone leaked that. Yeah, I just think it was performative, like shrewd businessman imagery. But the other stuff with him in the hotel, I think that was very raw and very genuine. And whoever leaked that is wild, because that was definitely an inside job. That is an inside job. No,
because any people in that room are people who know him and who he trusts to have that conversation in front of. But also, Audrey, is it not weird to record that kind of conversation?
Well, yeah, when part of your charges are that you've been filming people and having people on tape.
Yes, and that you're manipulative and you're all of this. Is why would you that conversation? I'm locking myself in the bathroom to nobody. I don't want anybody to hear me outside the person I'm speaking with. In fact, I'm begging that the person I'm speaking with is not recording it. Why was that being filmed?
I think
he's a narcissist. He's sick.
He's a
narcissist.
He's 100% a narcissist. I think there are some people that they get so used to the cameras being on them that they don't even know how to operate without it. I remember there was this article in the New York Times, but it wasn't anything deep I was reading. It was about Vanderpump Rules, and there was a character on there called Tom Sandoval, and he had this massive downfall a couple of years ago on the show. Like, the show's ended now, but at the height of his popularity, he had a really big downfall because he basically cheated on his girlfriend, but it was very salacious. Anyway, in this article, they talk about how he had walked into a room for some interview they were doing, and remember, Tom had been on reality TV for years, 10, 12 years Vanderpump Rules was on. And she said that when he walked in, there were no cameras. Like, they were doing a written interview, right? But he was so aware of cameras, and you could just see from his body language that he doesn't know how to operate in a normal manner anymore.
Without performing.
Like, he was looking around, it was almost like his body language was giving mic check, sound check. All the checks that you do when you're about to film something.
Like that as well. I've got some influencers that are very like that. You're used to anybody taking it. Yeah, just
exactly. They don't want a bad angle, light. They don't want a bad angle. Nothing. And he said it was the maddest thing he'd ever seen in his whole life, because he just didn't know how to operate as a normal person. So I say all that to say, I think Diddy might be like that. I feel like he had this he's had an addiction or a reliance on cameras, and so you just have to have a camera in your face all the time. And we can't even fathom it, and we're in front of a camera a lot as well. But we know how to switch off. But some people cannot switch off.
And I'm barely switch on when the camera is on,
bro. Exactly, and then it's
off.
And then he's also chosen to film a lot of stuff as well. This whole thing of home movies and constantly having videotapes of stuff. It's so I don't know what the intention is.
I think people that do that consistently, always filming it, I think there is a version of them where they really believe that they are bigger and larger. They feel like their life is a story worth telling. You know, because you see it with people who are have kids that are good singers, and they start filming them from very young. They're there was a story here. So I think that's how they see it. I think that they see it as, this is going to be a story worth telling.
You even see it now, sometimes people joke on TikTok, and they'll be it is actually quite funny, and people would be my husband never films me, so this is the video they should use at my funeral, and they'll just be being silly. Okay, so they'll just be
because it's from when you watch films and the wife is dead at the beginning of the film. And she's
exactly.
Or she's breastfeeding the baby at the beginning.
Exactly. And they'll be running through the fields or whatever, and they'll just be
and I'm just do you love me? Yes, baby. Through some duvet bullshit.
Exactly. That sort of thing. And it is funny, but there's some truth to it. Do you know what I mean? Because we've all watched enough documentaries to know what, if our life story is going to be told, what the narrative should look like.
Yeah.
So, but I just think he's just obsessed with having things over people as well.
That reminded me, I saw someone posted on their Instagram story, and it's really fucked me off. And they said that someone was hit me with the harshest truths, and someone's replied, one day you're going to pose for a picture that will be used at your funeral. And it's really pissed me off.
Oh my God.
You're going to unknowingly pose for a picture one day, and it's going to be used at your funeral.
I think that, but about when... I think about
missing. So God forbid I ever go missing. That's
God forbid. I think about, no, but I haven't even gotten that deep with it. My thing is when it's my birthday and people post me, what made you choose that picture?
I think that's what I actually do.
I'm why did you scroll down that far? Are you trying to say I haven't taken a nice picture since 2022?
That picture was taken in 2020. During, like, I said, why did you like that one so much?
Like, why did you scroll down that far? You didn't take the
20
picture.
Nice pictures that you missed. Why did you take that one?
Why didn't you go with this one?
I do think it's a nice indicator of showing, because anytime I do that, I don't do birthday posts anymore, because I had to stop because it was actually too much. And if I didn't do it for one person, like I was like, if I just don't do it for anybody, nobody's offended anymore.
I just do it for my nearest and dearest now.
Or even, so, do you know what? Sometimes I even have to do it because people are weird. For example, if it's your birthday and I don't do it, they must be beefing. So it's like that one, I know, I have to do it. Because otherwise,
God forbid someone doesn't have Wi-Fi.
God forbid.
Or someone's on a flight.
So things that, like, you know that if you don't do it for this person, people are going to make up a story in their head. They must not be talking anymore. And blah, 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 blah. So things like that, you're like, cool, whatever. Because I cannot be asked with the back and forth of they must be beefing.
It's
because
long.
any little thing, like, you could not go to someone's birthday because your mum's ill. No, there's a problem. Clearly, there's a fallout. Whatever.
No,
but I do think it's a good indicator of seeing people's favorite pictures of you. I'm like, oh, you like that picture?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. And then I go back and I do the cross-referencing to make sure that they actually liked it.
Nah, you're too much. You have too much time on your hands.
I'm like, okay.
Too much to you.
I've gone back. I'm like, okay, you posted this one of me, cute, thank you, appreciate it. Let me scroll back, and then
you go through the likes to see if they actually like that picture
and the comment.
Okay.
I'm like, and the comments. I'm like, did you like and did you comment? But I realized the other day, so I was going back in the archives of my Instagram, and there was a period where when I was going through it with Nick, I turned off my comments. And I haven't turned them back on, and I'm just like, oh, I want to read those comments. But no, that was just funny. That was just an observation. But back to Diddy. That was a.
What are your comments sent off now still?
Yeah. But it's only because there was because I did my whole feed at the time.
And so, you was like, no one could even DM me, no one could say, no one could
literally.
You, nobody could
find so I turned off my comments on every single picture, and some of those pictures, they deserved comments. But Michael,
that was a dark time.
That was a dark time. That was a dark time, and I was like, when I was scrolling back, I was like, I haven't put my comments back on yet on these pictures, but they're old.
I'd be like, you delete it? Just delete that. No, don't delete that. I was like, you delete that. Don't post that.
I can't believe I became that person. I can't
believe you became that person.
I became that person. I actually did. I did the most.
You are not this person. I know in your heart of hearts, you're not this person.
I'm not. It's not me. It's not a bit of me at all. But it was for like 2 hours.
But hey, when you're going through it, some things are a bit of you. Things you said you never do.
Exactly. Sometimes you're not yourself when you're going through it.
When you're going through it. Yeah. It's helping you upset. Wait, so how far? I haven't got that far. I haven't even finished the first episode yet. So
same.
I actually probably want to watch it all and talk about it.
I'm going to do a proper deep dive. But that man is mad. As far as them
talking to... Is it Audrey Day? That girl's...
I haven't even got that far, but that makes sense, because I was wondering why she was so quiet, because she has been on his ass for a long time.
Audrey,
and
she's been quiet. Talking badly on Diddy, she's there.
Exactly, but during the trials, she was quiet. I know she was pissed that they didn't summon her, but I know she was waiting for her summons. She didn't get it.
That man.
Yeah, she hates him. She has been talking about him for time. Yeah,
Anywhere people are rubbishing him, she will be there. Like, oh, we're talking. Okay, cool. Don't wait for me.
And I rated because she was doing it at a time when she wasn't popular.
Is there anyone you dislike that much that if anybody was like, hey, we're talking about this person today, you're like, active, I'm there. And I'm active. And
do you know what it is? To go and sit on a documentary and talk about them.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think about... Do you know what it is? I don't think I would, not because I'm above it, but only because I don't like it when people jump on things when it's like a collective hate. Do you know what I mean? Like, I really hate when people do that. Like, I would rather be the Aubrey O'Day. And if I don't, and I feel like if I don't have it, so basically Aubrey was talking about it when it was not popular.
Like if I've never started saying it from time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now when everyone's saying, I don't want to be like, I knew it. Like, no, say it from the beginning. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And I understand that sometimes people need other people to have the confidence to do it. Like, I completely get it. I know that happens with victims a lot, so I completely get it. But I think that's different. I think that's a very different thing to like, I just don't like this person because I've got a personal beef with them or whatever. And now that they're getting like their day in court and here I am. Why didn't you take the case to court? Why weren't you the leader of it? So I'm just like, I would rather be the leader of it and do it because it just feels more like genuine. So like Aubrey, for example, I think she's got every right to be speaking up now because she's been speaking Like, she's been doing interviews about this for time when it wasn't popular and no one, and he was at the height of his career and he was getting awards.
People were just ignoring her. And just
everyone was ignoring her and saying that she was bitter and all of these things. Like, I rate that highly. So you better go sit on that documentary, Aubrey. You have earned that right.
But there's some people that I'm just like, people who have turned up. Because one of the people that I've seen was one of the people he launched Bad Boy with.
Yeah, I saw that guy.
You've burnt bridges. Like,
you have...
People are really coming out to think, because who was that guy? Was it Andre Harrell? He's dead now, isn't he? My God, I wish that man was alive to see it. I don't know. I am fascinated to know what his thought process. I wonder what he would have. Because I think Andre Harrell eventually fired Diddy, from what I remember from other things.
Because he was overstepping.
Yeah, I would love to know what Andre has to say about Diddy today. May his soul rest in peace. He seemed like a guy that everybody really, really liked. There was never a bad. I never heard a bad word about him.
Yeah, same. I don't think he was doing that whole shrewd businessman thing. But remember, Diddy came under him and then basically tried to overtake the empire. It's just like, what are you doing? Like, what are you actually doing? But I'll be sure is another one that's been talking.
Yeah, like, that man hates him as well.
He hates him as well. Like, he hates him. But it was so like. Do you know what actually triggered me was the woman that kind of spoke on the first case of like sexual abuse, was the woman that was the video promoter or whatever, and that Diddy had filmed her, trigger warning, like he had drugged her and filmed her and was like showing the videos. I really actually empathized and sympathized with her so much. I don't know what it was about her storytelling, but I was listening to it and I was so triggered. Like, I really, really felt her pain. Like, you can see that this is someone whose life has been so affected. And I think that sometimes, like, in the craziness of like a court case and all the conspiracy theories and all of that, sometimes like the stories kind of get lost in all of the chaos and the circus of it all. But there was something really stripped back about her recollection of what happened. And I don't know what it was about her particular story, but I think it was when she said that her mum had wrote a letter to Diddy's mum and just kind of detailing what had happened and how the last time she spoke to him, he lied and he denied it and he just looked in her face and said he didn't do it. But these times you were showing videos of her sexual abuse to people for entertainment.
And do you know what that thing is, to know that deep. Someone is lying? That thing is like, and there is no way for you to prove it, but you're like, but I know, but you're lying. But I know. Like, you're, I know you did this thing. I know you behaved like this, and you're lying and you're putting this different story out. And there's nothing I can do about it. I just have to accept that, sure, I guess no one's going to believe me.
Yep, and they're lying, but then also they're being held up as well as this icon, as this... I can't even imagine how painful that must be when you know, like, this version of this person, this monster that they are, and the world is rubbing them in your face constantly, telling you they're so amazing, they're so amazing. And when she said that she saw the image of him in Times Square with his arm, like his fist up in the air or whatever, and she just vomited when she saw it, I was just like, I can imagine having a visceral reaction like that.
Gradual thing of having like someone like Diddy who's every, because people have it for like a normal, like an ex that they can't stand, and they just see that, like they just see everybody be like, oh my guy, and it's just like, this guy is, I'm not like, let alone someone you know that's a monster, but it's now Diddy.
Exactly.
And you'll be out in the club. Oh. Yeah. His songs will play. You'll be thinking, you see a picture of him. You like, he's just everywhere.
That man is wicked. But it's so far, it's actually a very well, because I didn't think, I thought because 50 Cent's behind it, it's just going to be trolling and just like, but they've actually done a very good job at like telling his story from the beginning and not humanizing him because he doesn't deserve to be humanized, but telling the story quite accurately. Like I'm surprised that it's been done in this way. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting this. But it looks like it's going to be very good.
I mean, okay, you're a mum, so you can. How do you love a child through this?
I think it's denial. You know, I think you have to. I think there's layers. I think if your child's confessed to something, that one I don't know. But if your child is still like vehemently denying something,
well, you have to believe your child.
I guess you'd have to. Like even if the evidence was overwhelmingly in your face, that condition. And then there's so many other layers. You think about, you know, if we're talking about Diddy in particular, he's rich. Do you know what I mean? Like his sort of freedom. Exactly, he's the breadwinner. His freedom is very much indicative of like your lifestyle and like you having a roof over your head. Like those things can't be ignored. Like I'm just saying, there's more incentives to believe that person even more over the fact that they're your child, as well as the fact that they're your child, kind of thing. But I also think that sometimes there's, because from what so far what we've seen even about his mum, there's a level of like,
it's not giving moral high ground.
The apple is not falling far from the tree, bro.
It's not
like
giving.
it's just,
oh no, she's so morally.
Exactly.
And then she's not giving moral high ground.
You've got to think of like the times of when like she was raised and like misogyny and how it's just like some women are painted in these lights that inform these mothers. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, these girls are just fast, they're just after his money. There's so many contributing factors that I can imagine you would tell yourself to sanitize that person's reputation, and then on top of it, that's your blood that you birthed. Like, but I'm not making excuses because I think it's just inexcusable. But you know.
But even like Diddy aside, you hear it like there's always like the monster in the family. There's like that. That's not unheard of. And also there's like awful cases where the monster in the family has hurt someone else in the family, but yet the mother will still be vehemently on that person's side. There is like people that it's like their brother has like hurt them or assaulted them, and the mum will still be like, "That's my son."
Yeah,
like,
that one is.
How do you love kids? How do you love your child through that? What if you birthed the monster?
Yeah, and it's very possible.
Because all these monsters we have in this world, someone gave birth to them. They didn't just pop out.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They didn't just appear. And there was this clip of like Oprah. She's got a show. I think it's Oprah show. And basically she had like
she got a podcast, or is the Oprah show back on telly? What's the vibe?
I don't know if it is a podcast, but basically I think it is a show. I don't know if it's on OWN or whatever, but basically she had this show where she had like a group of people that had done complete no contact with their family. So she had some parents and she had some. It's a podcast, and they had some kids.
But get lost, man. Not like what you doing with a podcast. Come on, give
I
people
know you're the big O.
For God's sake!
And the clip I saw was this mum who basically was saying that she's cut her son off. He's 31 or something, and she was just like, he's been a terror for the last 15 years of her life, and how she's done with him, and he's been financially abusive, he's been verbally abusive, and she was basically like, everyone's always got sympathy for the child that wants to do no contact. How come no one has sympathy for the parent? And it was like, I was laughing, so I was just like, do you know what? I hear it, because sometimes some kids and some people just be putting their parents.
Yeah, because if the kid said, I don't speak to my parents, we're like, well, I guess your mum, I get it. Blah, 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 blah,
exactly.
Yeah. But somehow you don't want to get it. If my kid's a dickhead.
And this is the thing, because kids grow up to be adults, right? And there's only so much a parent can do. I get that, how a child isn't always dependent, because there are people that have had lovely childhoods, no trauma, and they're still dickheads, or they're still nasty people, or they're still monsters. By
siblings born in the same family, and they're very different people. They've had the same upbringing, but they're very different people. So it's not always like, I guess the parents didn't bring them up well. That's not true.
Exactly. But the one red flag that woman said, at first I was like, no, do you know what? I hear it. Like, I can imagine. You hear it all the time, especially sons giving their mums a hard time or whatever. I can imagine, like, for your own, you've got to protect yourself or what have you. But when she said, it started about 15 years ago, so then I started doing the maths. Sorry, what's 30 take away 15?
Are you joking?
It's 15, isn't it?
Is it
15? No, I'm actually being deadly serious. I was doing the maths.
Nobody help her, please. Nobody in the studio help her.
It's 15, isn't it? 30 take away 15 is 15.
Take the 1 over, I don't
30. Right. Okay. Phew.
Yeah.
And so
take the one from that side to the other side, and then
carry over. Okay, we got there. I got there in the end. So he would have been 15. So then I had to start stripping it back and being like, okay, woman, you had me until you said that. And then she also said that the problem started when she remarried. So then immediately my mind was kind of just like, I immediately went straight to you're a pick me then. Because you've got, do you know what I mean? Like, that's what it was giving. Like, it was very much giving like, your husband's come along around the time that, your son, like 15, like, let's not adultify children, whether they're boy or girl. 15, you're very much a kid.
Terrors, Audrey.
Terrors.
Like, terrors.
Terrors.
Like, do you know them kids that used to beat their mums?
Yeah, like, do you know how mad that is? But did you get to that part of the documentary where the guy said that Diddy slapped his mom?
Oh, no, I have not got there yet.
I was like, okay.
He
slapped his mum and called her a bitch.
People can hit their mums. find it crazy. I don't care if I'm 99, my mom is 150.
Exactly.
I will
never. There's no world. I can't imagine what world I've had dreams where I've had physical fights with my mum before. And I woke up in a cold
have you brought that up in therapy?
Sweat. I haven't, you know.
You should bring that up in
I
therapy.
will. I've got a session on the 18th. I'll bring it up.
You should bring that up in therapy, yeah.
And when I've woken up, honestly, it bothers my whole day and my whole spirit. Because I'm just like, why am I... And it just makes me feel sick. I hate it. Like, it makes me feel terrible. And I feel like shit every time that happens. It's happened a couple times.
Is it because... I mean, like, I'm funny about dreams. I'm like, is it your subconscious? Is it something telling? Because I had a big dream about my sister last night, but she was the last person I spoke to before I went to sleep. So I spoke to her, and then she was in my dream. And in the dream, me and her were having an argument with her because she like made pounded yam, but she didn't make me some. And I'd asked her to make me some, but she only made it for herself. And in the dream, I was so livid, and that every time she tried to put the yam in her mouth, I kept slapping it out. Like I kept being like, I just felt really angry. And like in the dream, I was crying. I was like, why would you not do this for me? Like if it was somebody else, you would have done it. Why did you not do this for me? And I was like, why have I had that dream? What is that? Does it mean anything? Or is it just because I've just spoken to her and my mind has just made up some shit?
No,
I don't have seriously to take dreams.
I don't know. I think like sometimes it's a mixture. Sometimes it's just a bunch of bullshit, and then other
just
times
a bunch of bullshit in your mind, isn't it?
They might have deeper meanings. Do you know what I mean? Unless the yam was representation of something else, but I don't think so. I think it's just because it's because you just spoke to her.
I just spoke to her before I slept, innit?
Yeah. That's definitely why that was. But yeah, and it makes me feel like shit. So talk less of people that actually get into physical altercations with them. Like to me, like that your relationship is like.
When you went to a friend's house and then when their mum started arguing and it's like, hey, did that ever happen to you?
Yep. That happened. Yep. I will never forget.
I remember it happened. The mum coming to me, you're fucking making go home.
Exactly.
And she got up and then they started fighting. Audrey, I just sat still. Like I just didn't.
You got to make like baby and go in the corner.
I was like, there is no way. And then the mum left and she said, right, let's carry on playing. I know you're fucking lying. There's no way I'm playing.
Are we not going to unpack what just happened here just now because you were fighting your mum?
You want me to stay in your house? I'm going home.
Yeah, that's a very uncomfortable situation. I've been in it so many times growing up in Essex. I remember my
friends...
the
thing about the Essex thing, they used to box each other with their parents. And you used to be like, well...
But she didn't box her parents, but her mum boxed her in front of me. I'll never forget. And her mum was like, okay, girls, what do you want to watch? But Audrey's the guest, so she gets to decide. And me being a fucking... I was such a little... Not a snitch, but like...
What did you say?
And yeah, so then her mum was like, it's you could choose between Who Framed Roger Rabbit and some other film. I can't remember what the other film was, but my friends picked the other film. And then I was like, I want to watch Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, you're such a dickhead.
I was such a dickhead. So I threw her under the bus. And then, but my friend was like, oh no, we should watch this other film. Like basically being like, listen, bitch, choose this one. And I wasn't getting it. And I just kept on saying Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And then her mum was just like, Nicola, I said her name. She was like, Audrey's the guest. And then they started going back and forth, and then her mum just slapped her across the face. And I just remember just standing there in the corner, just being like, I guess we can watch the other film. And I was just like,
no, I want to watch the other film.
It was just, oh my God, it was so awkward. I felt so bad. I just wasn't getting it though. Like my social.
Have you been the kid that's been hit in front of your friends?
No, I actually haven't. My mum's hit me, but not in front of them, but they knew what was going on. But it was because I mean my friend's big brother, innit?
Yeah. The humbling of when your mum hits you in front of your friends is...
Oh my God, you will never disrespect again.
Humbled in honestly, my life.
It's so embarrassing. Like, especially when you're like on the cusp of being like a teenager.
Yes, it's all this.
Oh my God, like and that 10, 11, sorry, but they're 12.
They'll be like, oh, you're right, sorry.
Yeah, that's just, God, they don't even want to make too much noise.
Oh my God. Okay, sorry. And you're there, silently crying, just there crying silently.
Just like doing the internal cry. That internal cry is the worst.
It's fine.
Oh my God, the internal cry is the worst. But no, the worst, the funniest thing is when they're like, and your mate can fuck off and all. That line. When they it, and they're just like, why am I in it? And you just like actually don't even know whether to go home or not. You're just like, I think I should probably leave at this point.
And then when you go home, you're like, do I go say bye? Like, bye, Mrs. Smith.
Exactly. Or do you just quietly leave through the back door?
Oh,
like, my God.
And then I had some parents, I'd be like, no, just call me Anne. I was like, I can't call you Anne.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry that my mum did not bring me up in that way. I have to call you Mrs. Smith, or
I have to.
I cannot call you anything else but Mrs.
Exactly.
And none of my black friends was just auntie.
Yeah.
And one of my black friends' mums, she threatened to beat all of us. And the thing is, I knew she was going to do it. I knew she could do it.
But the thing is, back then it was a village.
Did I know she could do it? I knew that if she did it, my mum would have been like, yeah, good. Nobody would have said, don't touch my kid.
Same. My mum would have been all for it because my mum would have been like, no one's mum is just going to hit you for no reason. So you must have been doing some shit.
Yeah.
But that's when we were a community, man. Like that was when, especially
people
like,
I mean, why you say
now,
that you can't hit my kids? I can't. No, you can't.
Yeah, no, it's actually true. It's actually very true.
Like, call me and tell me what they've done. Don't hit my kids.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I think that's the most responsible adult thing you can do.
I don't hit my kid. I don't hit my kid. Don't hit my kid.
Exactly. So yeah, that one is.
What would you do if your mum slaps Anaya? I was silently go into the room and whisper, "Don't touch my kid."
I'll just be like, I'll text her. I'll text her.
I'll go home and I'll sit in my room and I'll whisper, "Never you fucking love me, you touching my kid again."
I'll get in my car, I'll drive off and I'll send her the meanest text ever. That will start off with, "Hi, mummy."
Mummy, please.
Mummy.
We both call our mums mummy, don't we?
Yeah. I'll never stop.
Call my mummy as well.
There was a point where I tried to call her mum and it just didn't sound right, and I didn't like it. And I'm just like, I call my mum mummy. I'll just be like, "Hi, mummy." But no, I think if my mum if she disciplined her, it would have to be for a very good reason. But my mum doesn't even like it when I discipline Anaya now, so I can't imagine it happening. But I'm sure it will at some point. But no, I trust my mum implicitly, so I'll just be like, she must have done something mad. But we're not doing it.
Hitting is like, oh, it's just, but it's not like they're abusing. But I'm like, no, don't hit my kid, mum. Like,
I've very much changed my mind on that now. I think it's when people
I remember I used to be like, we were fine. I used to get beaten. It was fine. I was like, actually,
I said those exact words on this here platform. And was advocating for it at one point. And now I just think, do you know what it is? It's when people say it's embarrassing when people are like, oh, because it just shows that you've lost control. That's to exactly me is, that's what triggers me. I'm just like, I don't want to be that person that loses it so much that I take it out on a child.
And not only have you lost control, if I pissed you off, you would just slap me. If I did something wrong to you somehow you can amend it. But because you know that you are more powerful than this child, you're bigger than this child, that's why you're now using, because people piss you off every day. Why don't you go around slapping them?
Exactly. And this is a child that's, their brain hasn't even fully developed. Exactly. They don't even have full cognitive function. And I just don't actually think it teaches the lesson. It's because you just not, it's just an instant reaction, isn't it? But it's, in terms of like discipline, I feel like you have to follow it through. And you have to be like, this is why you don't do this. I'd be like, if you're not going to beat me forever, like I know this is going to be at most, this will last a couple of slaps and then you'll be tired. Exactly. And I'll go upstairs and it's over. That's the thing. And I think you're more inclined to do the thing again because you know what's coming. And you just know, like you said, it's just going to hurt for a couple of seconds.
When I come home late, I'll be like, oh, she'll just shout and beat me. And like, as in, and then we'll carry on.
100%. It becomes ineffective. So I just think, you have to discipline properly, and it has to come. I'm
fascinated by people that having to deal with their parents disciplining their kid. That would be hard. Like, I don't know how people do that shit.
I think it depends on how close they, like, how much involvement do they have in the child's life.
Because some older parents are still adamant that kids just to be beaten. Like they never change their mind about it.
Which is just mad. But I just think if you're a parent and you don't believe in that, stand up. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think you have to stand up. It's like, okay, if your parents still talk to you in a certain type of way, and this is just kind of how you communicate and you're used to it. But if it's something, and if you believe in it, then I can imagine it just gets passed down. But if you don't believe in it, and this is how the grandparent is choosing to deal, you have to stand up for your kids. Like, that's one of the hardest things that I've learned becoming a parent, is being able to advocate, because there's so many things that I wouldn't necessarily speak up about, but now, like, I'm forcing myself to, because not necessarily just for my sake, but if I can't do it, how the hell? Yeah, do you know what I mean? I remember there was this was ages ago, and I was in an Uber with Anaya. She must have been about 6 months, and it was freezing, and the driver had the window down. And ordinarily, I'd be like, do you know what? This is his car, even though I'm paying for it. Like, sometimes my mindset is fucked. I'd be like, oh, it's his car. If he wants the window down, it's down for a reason. I'll just firm it.
This is the service.
And then I was in the car with Anaya, and he had the windows down, and I was like, and it was something so small, but I remember being like, if you don't fucking stand up and open your mouth now, like, what are you actually doing? Like, you've got a very small infant child in the car. So I just was like, excuse me, can you roll up the window? I've got the baby here. And of course he did it.
And then guess what? There was no big lash out. It wasn't
exactly.
No,
it wasn't, it wasn't even anything that deep. Like, and even now, sometimes I struggle. I'm like, I'll go to nursery and I'll have an issue and I'll just be like, I'll send it in an email. And it's like, no, speak to her key worker, she's right there. Like, why? Like, you don't. It doesn't need. That's just delayed
the worst thing
communication.
Is that, when you like build yourself up to do something, to send an email, reply to something, and the person's just like, okay. You're like,
it's never. It's almost never that deep. I have been working
myself up to send this email for 12 days.
Honestly.
Said, okay, cool. And I'm like,
exactly.
it's not that
You've
deep.
written it and rewritten it and written it and rewritten it, and it's never that deep. Never. You're not asking for blood. Do you know what I mean? So just talk. So yeah, I said about to say, stand up to your parents, and if you don't want them beating them, don't let them beat them. You know?
Yeah. Stand up. Right, I feel like we might be saying stand up for a few of these dilemmas as well. So let's get into some dilemmas of the week.
Let's go.
We've got some with some receipts here as well. Okay, first dilemma. Hi, Audrey and Tolly. I hope you are well. Tolly, I hope things are going much better for you. Praying for you always. Audrey, you are so hilarious. I want to be like you when I grow up. Aww. I'll keep my dilemma short and to the point. My boyfriend and I have been together for a year and some change, and he's amazing, sweet, caring, and very kind. However, he keeps making typos. I mean, it's a bit silly, but guys, we are long distance, so we mostly communicate via text. And for whatever reason, he just makes so many typos in his texts. And it low-key gives me the ick. In a day and age where we have autocorrect, Siri, ChatGPT. Oh my God, I just did the African thing.
Oh, I said ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Wait, BTP?
ChatGPT. ChatGPT.
I always say ChatGPT, you know. I always do that.
Have you seen that me saying that? Why do black people say ChatGPT?
I say ChatGPT all the time.
Why do we do that?
I don't know. It just rolls off the tongue.
GPT.
PT.
How can you be making silly, bad typos? And it's not once, even in a while. It's like 4 times a day or even more. For the most simple words too. Mind you, this man has a master's, so I just can't understand why. I ask him if it's how he writes to his colleagues or clients, and he says, honestly, I don't know. What do you mean? Guys, I've told him to maybe type slower and just take a second before hitting send, and he'll give one annoying response like, if you can't read through my typos, it means you don't love me. Again, I know it's a bit silly, but it honestly annoys me so much. I'll attach some screenshots of his best work. I really don't know what to do anymore. Maybe you guys or your listeners can help. Love you, a fan from, I won't say where you're from, just in case. Is that a millislick? Or how millennials communicate now? Oh, that is a wild way to say.
Wild.
Is that how we stop millennials? That is
so wild.
Millennials is spelled MELENIALS, as in me LNLs.
No, it's the site for me.
She said, babe, and she replied, babe, genuinely, do you ever want to check the spelling of a word before processing send?
Doesn't he have autocorrect though?
Yeah.
Because it takes actually a lot of work. So, you know, when you spell something wrong, you actually have to make a conscious effort to go back and say that this is how you want to spell it. Because autocorrect will autocorrect it. Maybe he's trolling.
Oh, do you want to know how he spelled sight?
Yeah, that's the one that's spinning me.
PSKCHED.
There's
and
even extra letters.
PEASE. You don't need to have that many letters to P's. You just don't. You don't.
Oh my God.
Audrey, thoughts?
Oh, do you know what? This is an ick. It's an ick, and I hear it. The man has got a master's. Like, yeah. Anyway,
look. Firstly, is English his first language?
Valid.
English is difficult. Is that his first language? Is that what he's used to speaking? The thing is, everything I would say to do, you've done it. You've been like, babe, why are you like every time he's done it, you've been like, why are you spelling things like that? Like, can you check your spelling, please? You've done it, and he's just not changing. So either leave it or you lump it. I can't lie. There's certain things that you can't leave it and you lump it.
Yeah, that's it. I really have nothing to give apart from the fact that I validate the fact that you feel icked out. because I hear it, because some of this spelling is very wild. Is there a world in which he's trolling you, maybe? Because you say it so much.
Spell check would be like,
because
yeah.
Because like if you want to spell someone's name and then spell check changes it automatically, and then you have to go back and correct it and then write it how you want a couple of times before it sticks.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how we're getting to this point outside of him trolling you. I don't know, but I just think, it's just, you have to just accept him for how he chooses to spell things. I think he must be trolling,
because when I write certain words, like I've written words that I'm like, oh, is it like, and spell check will just be like, oh, this, you mean this, and it's that's exactly what I meant. Yeah,
exactly. So
unless he hasn't got English as his first thing on his app, because spell check doesn't allow you to spell P's like that.
No, it doesn't. That has to be intentional. Like, you have to say that you want to spell it that way. So I think he's trolling, because I've been trolling Nick now for 2 years about how I cream, because I slap myself. At first it was genuine, and he used to be like, why'd you slap yourself like that? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, you actually slap yourself when you're moisturizing. And I was like, really? And I honestly didn't realize that I did it. And he was like, you can be kinder to yourself. Like, your skin has done nothing to you. Like, don't do that. And I was like, oh, whatever. But now it's like 2 years and I slap myself really hard on purpose. And he's like, no, seriously, babe, we need to talk about this. He's like, why do you cream like that? Like, I don't get it. But obviously I'm just trolling.
Yourself or him when you slap yourself really hard?
But sometimes if he's in another room, I clap my hands. and then he comes running in and he's like, is everything okay? And I'm just like, yeah. He's like, oh my God, you're creaming again. He's like, why so violent? But now I'm just trolling him. So maybe he's doing the same thing. I don't know. It's dumb, but people do it because I'm doing it. So it's not even that.
Literally. There's nothing else you can do outside of, babe, why are you doing this? You've said it now and he's not listening.
Yeah, exactly. You've said it. You've been honest. You've told him how you feel about it, and he says you don't love him if you don't accept it. So just accept it. And the main thing is that you understand what he's saying. If you didn't understand the sentences, then I would just be like, yeah, okay.
Just keep changing it. Just keep, every time he spells wrong, just spell correctly.
Yeah, it'd just be like, until he gets fed up. But there's nothing you can really do. Alrighty, next dilemma.
Let's go.
Dear Tolly and Audrey, thank you for keeping up with us and the podcast even in your trying times. You were the first podcast I'd ever listened to in 2019, and you ushered me into this beautiful world. May your 2026 bring you health, wealth, joy and love. Oh, thank you.
Amen.
Amen to that. I'm turning 30 next year, and I think I have reached the point where I need the emotional independence / distance from my family. For context, I live with my mum and my 2 younger sisters, and they want to move houses early next year. I'd always said that if they moved again, I'd move out as we all contribute to the rent, so moving out in the midst of our tenancy would have an impact on my family. My issue is that I don't feel financially ready yet, and I'm worried about my job security in this economy. I've just started to learn about managing my finances for the long term, so I'm still creating that foundation that I want for my life. I have about 5 or 6 months of savings in my emergency fund, but there is so much more I want to do with my money, and staying at home would help with this. However, as the eldest daughter, I'm really at the point where I want to have my privacy and full independence. I get along well with my sisters, but my mum is quite emotionally dependent on us, and generally you can't escape your family dynamics when you live in the same place. Would you sacrifice being financially more comfortable in this economy to move out? The alternative is that I agree with my family that I will live with them for 2 more years while I build my foundation. Thanks for reading.
I think it's one of those situations where it's just like, only you can know how bad it is. Like, as in, because I could be like, oh no, stay. It doesn't seem like, because I would stay and build a bigger foundation. I know you've got like 4 to 6 months of thinking, but if you're scared about your job security, I can't tell you enough how you'll be living in fear when you're paying your own rent, your own bills, and you just have to do a food shop. Living by yourself and paying, it is fucking expensive. And then suddenly the water bill will come. You have to pay this much for water bill. Then suddenly the fridge is not working again, so you have to figure out this. I don't know if 5 or 6 months will make you feel comfortable enough to do it. So I would say stay and build up. But also, if you are in a situation where you're like, I do not want to be with these people, which it doesn't sound like you are. If your only issue is I'm going to be 30 and I haven't moved out, so fucking what?
Yeah.
But if you can afford it, I do think there is something really amazing about moving out moving out and living your own life. But you're saying this economy, job security, blah, 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 blah. And if you feel those things, I would say stay at home.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think I hear it. I hear that it gets to a point in your life where you are ready for that, and it sounds like you are
absolutely
ready. Like you feel spiritually ready. You feel it in your bones. Like
I got to 30 and I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of the space. Yeah,
it does get to that point where you're kind of like butting heads with your mum as the woman of the house and all of that, and you're just craving your independence. So that feeling is completely normal. Whether or not it's functional is a completely different thing, because like Tolly's saying, when those bills come flooding in, that feeling isn't necessarily going to save you. Do you know what I mean? And that feeling is going to be amplified. So I agree. I think it depends on what your living situation is like currently. And I just think that having a goal of, you know, something to look forward to and being able to do it at in a way where you're secure, you have savings, you know that you can, you know, you've got money for a rainy day, because emergencies crop up all the time. Just the other day we had a big plumbing situation that just came out of nowhere.
And it's so you can't even go out with your friends anymore because you're like, honestly, I just keep up with the bills in this house.
Exactly. Like, and it's very, very hard. So if possible, stay at home with the goal of moving out. You know that this is what you want. I totally agree. I think that young women should try and live by themselves for a little bit before they live with a partner, potentially, if that's what you want to do before you get married. Have that independence. There's nothing like it. I just think learning how to like set up gas, set up electricity, be independent is such a massive learning life experience. So I definitely advocate for it, but I wouldn't advocate doing it if you can't afford it.
And then having money worries is
exactly
it's long.
Because I think those consequences are far bigger. The next thing you know, you're getting CCJs, you're getting chased by this person. It's just
even
not
peace of mind you don't have again.
Exactly. And and if it gets to a point where living out is worse off than the situation you were in before, then it means that you weren't ready to do it. So take your time with it, save, have a plan, figure out exactly what you want to do with your career to get that financial stability, and have it on your goal, on your mood board. Like
if you'd said that, like, oh, I'm in a really good situation right now, I can afford it, my job is comfortable, I just don't know if I'm ready, I'd be like, go. Like, as in you're stable.
You're
like
ready.
I've said it on this podcast quite a few times, I believe in a fuck off fund. Every woman, and guys do it as well, whatever, but I'm really big on women having a fuck off fund for whenever you need to tell somebody to fuck off. And that could be your job, your partner, your mother, your siblings, whatever it is, that you've got a fund that is able to like keep you there. And for me, when I initially first started my fund, it was to be able to like, oh, when I want to move out, I can move out. And then I quit my job, and it suddenly had to be this has to be a fund to be able to afford my life. And thankfully, I was still at home. If I wasn't at home, I would have never quit that job, because I'd be like, I need something that is still able to give me. So I'm really, really thankful to my mum for even giving me a comfortable home that I'd be like, I can stay here for as long as I want. But I did get to 30 and I had that itch of the like, I must leave this. Like, it's enough now. I've lived here for long enough. I felt, and it wasn't like I wasn't allowed out. I was very independent in my mum's house. I did whatever I wanted. But there was just something about living on your own and what you get from it, or just living with friends, or just living outside of your home. Like, I've learned things. I fixed the washing machine up the other day. I was well shocked. Like, my washing machine stopped working. I was just like, I'm not calling anybody. I will work this this thing out. Come to find out, the thumb was just stuck, and I just had to open the thing.
There you go.
Figured it out. But there was just an air of independence that you get. Yeah, exactly. But like, if it's going to be to detriment of your finances and your well-being, girl, stay at home.
It's not worth it. The last thing you want is to have to go running home. Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that, but you don't want to do that if you can avoid it now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, but I had to do the same thing, you know, because the other day we were having issues with the kitchen sink. It was so jarring, like, you know, when it's not going down. And so I went on TikTok and I started undoing pipes, and I undid the pipe, and there was so much shit in the pipes. And I never in a million years would be the kind of person that would do something like that. I'll just be let me call someone. And I was scared, because I was like, Nick wasn't there, and I was going to have to call him and just say I fucked up. But I actually didn't. I undid it. I mean, I did get water sprayed in my face, and it was dirty old dishwater, and it was all in my face. It was disgusting. And you know that smell of drain? Yeah. And it's like of plumbing and toilet. It was like that. But basically, in the pipes, the U-bend pipe, which I did not know that was a thing until the other day, and the U-bend pipe, I undid it, and I just called me Audrey the Builder in it, and I undid it, and there was so much shit in there, and I just started scrubbing and cleaning and getting rid of it, and voila, Bob's your uncle. Do you know what I mean?
Look at that.
Danny's your aunt.
Look at that.
But yeah, that's got nothing to do with anything. I just wanted to say that I did that.
No, I'm proud of you. Next dilemma.
Next dilemma.
Hi, girlies. Firstly, thank you. This podcast has genuinely raised me. You taught me to know my worth, stand up for myself, and also not take life or men too seriously, truly. Period. Now, onto my dilemma. I'm 27, and in my early 20s, I was pretty shy in bed. I dated and slept with a few guys, but I was never the girl confidently initiating or talking dirty, etc. Then I met my now ex about 3 to 4 years ago. The relationship itself, toxic. The sex, phenomenal. Always the case.
Always the way.
That's where I really found my sexual confidence. We were having sex multiple times a day, being really adventurous, and I realised my sex drive is actually very high. When we broke up, I had my outside era. I was going out, having fun, sleeping with guys, and honestly living my best life. Then I met my current boyfriend, who I've now been with for almost a year. And honestly, he's incredible. He's kind, generous, caring, stunning. Yes. Like, on paper, he's the dream. However, our sex life is not given. I feel like we never got past the early stage awkwardness. It just feels like a bit nervous and stiff to initiate. I get the vibe he just doesn't want it as much as I do. When we do have sex, it's really good, like really good. That's not the issue. But we only see each other on weekends due to living apart, and I'm lucky if we had sex more than twice. We spoke about it around 4 months in, and he said he was going through some personal stuff and just didn't feel like himself. Granted, he was going through some things, but these issues are now resolved, but our sex life hasn't really changed. During the week, when we're apart, there's no flirty sexual messages. Sometimes I'll get brave and send something sexy, and I get nothing back. Once I sent a bikini pic and he responded like I just sent a picture of my big toe. When we get into bed, he doesn't really cuddle, touch me, or do anything that signals he's in the mood. It's got to the point where I don't even want to initiate because I'm scared of being rejected. Now, I actually feel anxious before seeing him, worrying like, are we going to have sex this weekend or not? It's starting to make me feel like he doesn't think I'm sexy enough. I see how other couples who can't keep their hands off each other, and I want that for myself. I know I need more, but I don't know how to bring it up without making him feel pressured or like I'm forcing him to do something he doesn't want to do. I'm basically looking for help on how to say this to him. Tolly, when you say, if I'm having sex with someone, I should be able to say anything to them, I feel that.
I was going to say, Tolly always says that.
And before this, I used to be that girl with no filter. But with him, it just feels different and I can't explain it. I think I'm scared because I don't know how the conversation will go and I don't want it to win a good thing over just sex. But it's not just sexy though, is it? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's important to me. Exactly. Like, how can I go from a girl making sex tapes and using toys to being too shy to make moves on my man? Any advice for a babe with a high sex drive and a man who's not cracking her back enough? Love you, girlies, and thank you for the advice and for reading.
Oh, do you know what this highlights to me?
Go on.
This proper highlights to me, yeah, that different men really bring up different things in you, you know?
Yeah,
like, it's so interesting how, like, with one person you can be free and just, you know, doing whatever and
nothing to lose, do whatever you
liberated, no inhibitions. And then with someone else, they can kind of, you can close up a little bit and become the shy and retiring type again. I just honestly, I know it feels uncomfortable, but the only person that can help is him in the situation. He's the only person that has the answers. You're going to have to bite the bullet and speak to him. You know, you're just going to have to. It's either that or you just accept how things are, but you know in your heart of hearts, that's not what you want for yourself. Like, you've experienced this sexual awakening and you want to go back there. And he might be on it as well. There's only one way to find out. Is you have to chat to him. You have to.
The conversation has to be had. As much as it might feel awkward, I don't want to be... But the alternative is, okay, cool, you don't have the chat. You just keep having this weird thing. But also, I do think, like, definitely have the conversation. I do think sometimes in relationships, I think we're so brought up and told that it's men that always do the sexual part of the relationship. Like, it's them that will make the move, it's them that will initiate, it's them that will do this. But I think there are some relationship dynamics that's like, oh, the role the woman plays here is she's the one that does that. Like, do you know what I mean? Either if it's like, oh, the man is, I don't know, he has work things, or he has things, but so he is not, like you always say, Audrey, people have different roles in the relationship, and I think those roles don't always have to be gendered. It doesn't, because we've been told that it's men that are the sexual beings and they're the ones that are always hungry for sex. That's not always true, and sometimes in a relationship, you're just going to have to be the one that does that. You're going to have to be the one that's like, oh, babe, I want to try this, or babe, can we do this? Because it's not like you're saying, I want to try this, and he's like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that, or whatever.
You haven't even tried.
you just might have to be the one to take the lead on this thing in your relationship. And you have to be okay with that because you're the one that requires that thing more.
Exactly. And I think so many women connect their desirability to how much a man instigates
how much is
it.
moving to them. Yeah.
And it's just like, if a guy is not instigating it, then I must not be desirable.
Yeah.
Or he must not find me attractive. When there's 1,000,001 reasons why he may or may not be instigating it. It doesn't have to always
Some
be
of these people have stressful jobs. Like the last thing that they're thinking about is, okay, I've done all this thing the whole day. Now I have to now come home and work again.
Exactly.
Hey, you see each other at the weekends. You, like I said, babe, you have autonomy in this relationship. You get what you want out of that weekend. It's not, oh God, are we going to have sex? No, I know Friday when I'm packing my bag, we're going to fuck. I'm packing the fuckable outfits. I'm packing like I said, like, you can lead with intention as well.
Yeah, lead with intention.
When you're packing, know what you're pack well, pack with sense, know what you want to get out of this thing. I think so often we leave what we get out of things to the men that we're dating. I can also initiate what I want out of this as well.
Facts. I totally agree.
Have the conversation and also sit in your power that, okay, cool, I am the sexual being in this relationship. I am the sexual power. Sit in that.
Period.
It is what it is. Like, surely that's a turn on.
Exactly. I could not agree more. That was beautifully said. I just think go after the dick that you want. It's right there. With him. It's right in your hands.
Yeah. And the chat doesn't have to be, babe, can we just be like, I want to do this tonight. Rather than be like, babe, why don't we do this? Like, actually sit in what it is that you want. Like you said, you're the girl that was making sex tapes and wiling out. While out here as well. In fact, you should feel safer to while out here because it's more like you've. And I think maybe the thing is that because your old thing was toxic, you're like, oh, like whatever. There was no care in the world, but here because you don't want to lose anything, you're more careful.
Yeah. Exactly.
But take the good in that and bring it here.
Bring it here, man. It's that thing of like bad relationship and toxic relationship and great sex. And here you've got the great relationship and you don't want to have the toxic sex. If you don't go get that toxic sex right now and have the best of both worlds and have it all, like you can, it's have the life that you want to live.
It's not always the man's responsibility in a relationship to feel that well. Sometimes it's you that feels that well. And women be horny. I don't know why we act like we're not. Women be horny.
It's propaganda that's been sold to us.
You don't have to sit in this thing as if to say, oh, we're not. No, we are.
It's not a man's role. It's not a man's world anymore.
Right, next dilemma.
Okay, next dilemma. All right. It says, yes, look at me writing into the podcast. I knew this day would come. First things first, ladies, I love you and the work you both do. I've been listening to you ladies for the past 5 years, and when I say I can't wait for a US tour.
We have to make it happen.
So, dilemma, conservative bae or run?
Oh.
Hey ladies, so I met this man at a girls' night out. He is really handsome, like my type on paper, tall, dark, smells nice, well-dressed, deep voice, just a man, honey.
Okay.
We ended up exchanging contact information, and later he planned a date. Before our date, I did my due diligence, now that's something I can't say, and researched this man because I don't have time to be on a date with someone's husband or a serial killer. Fair. I ended up finding his Twitter, where I've seen like a few conservative posts. Posts that I would question and typically don't sit well with me. For reference, I'm a black woman, 2 master's degrees, worked in corporate America. America isn't set up for women like me, unfortunately, so I understand politics completely. Yeah. I was hesitant to go on the date, but ended up going just to see how things would go and feel him out. I went on the date and we honestly had a great time. The conversations were flowing, we laughed and genuinely had a great time. During our date, I threw out some of my beliefs to see his reaction. For example, I brought out my friends who are in an openly gay relationship. I brought up issues in our community dealing with kids and crime, and he responded well. Didn't seem uncomfortable or annoying and was very open. My dilemma is he wants to see me again, but I don't know. I can't say I like him yet, but I definitely am interested and I would like to know him more, but politics in this time on the world is different. I've always said I'd never date someone with a different political views, but child, my delusions are starting to kick in. Should I go on the second date? Should I bring it up before the date? Or am I overthinking this whole thing? I promise I'm a woke babe, but this man has me weak in the knees. Help.
I get so weak in the knees. I would, before the date, just be like, hey, this might feel really weird, but obviously before I date, like it's only right that I had to look you up to make sure it was safe. And I saw some tweets I was uncomfortable with, screenshot thoughts.
Yeah, I wonder what the views were.
Yeah.
You know? Were they?
Because what were the views? How old were the views? Like, was it like he was tweeted them 10 years ago and he's grown up now? Ask him what his political views are now. Like, it's fair to, like, it's easy enough to say that, like, oh, I've got a gay friend and kids and violence, but like, what are your actual political views?
And it's easy to overlook the fact that I'm guessing he's a white man. I'm guessing she didn't say that. It's easy to overlook because you're a black woman, and so you would assume that if someone's dating interracially, if he is, because there are also people that are coons, and he may very well still be the same race as you. But I don't think that that's a determining factor for me, the fact that he wants to date you.
What are the conservative views? Like, as in, I think that's what I need to figure out what it is.
Yeah,
what are they? Because there might be some conservative views that you agree with.
Are they right-wing light or are they right-wing full fat?
Yeah, because, like I said, what are they?
Because there's levels. Yeah, there's definitely levels, and definitely I think time is very important when he said it. But yeah, I think the only person who has the answers is him. And I agree. I think I would do the same thing. Ask before you go on the date.
Yeah,
I think you need to just get it out of the way.
Just get to know him a bit more
later.
as well. Yeah. Just be like, hey, I'm really like, hey, being like how I'm a very aware black woman, and there's certain things that are important to me, and it'd actually be great to know what your political views are. I saw these things that were a bit like questionable to me, and like it would be great if we can just talk about it. And then if he's like, no, I'm not chatting about it, whatever, then you call, that's not the person you want to date. If he talks about it, you get the right response, you go on a second date. Like, that's the best way to know what's going on here.
100%, because that's what I was gonna say as well. Like, you have to have uncomfortable conversations regardless about politics. Like, you just have to. Like, if you're gonna date anybody, you want to know where their views are. And I feel like I know some people want to avoid those conversations because you just want to get lost in the airy fairy. But they will show up later. If they don't show up in the honeymoon period, they will show up later, and it might be more detrimental. So I honestly think it's better to make sure that you're on the same page of someone early doors, so you can make an informed decision about whether you want to proceed with it. Because there's no point falling for him and then you find out these things and then now you're questioning yourself and you're questioning your morals. Like, no, find out sooner rather than later. Yeah, I agree.
And we're in a very like weird place when it comes to political views and politics. And I think that like what I've always found most interesting, and I hope I'm not wrong for saying this, what I've always found most interesting regarding conservatives and like more left-wing, more liberals, is that like with conservatives, it feels like if you agree with one thing with them, they're like, come on in. So you can just be like to conservative, oh, I'm a Christian. They're like, oh, come. I could disagree with everything else they've ever said. But the fact that I've said, oh, I'm a Christian, they're like, come on in. But with more liberal, oh, I don't actually believe in this thing. Get the fuck out. You make me sick. You're right wing. There's
no room for
I think that
anything,
is the biggest flaw of the Liberal Party. It's so like as soon as you don't believe in that one thing or you don't agree with that one thing, is you're white wing, we want nothing to do with you. But with these people, oh, you believe in this one thing we believe in, okay, like it's just like I think we just need to do better at that as liberals and left wing people, are being more like, someone might not believe in every single part of this thing, but they might feel very strongly about everything else, but there's one thing they're kind of not sure about.
Exactly. And when people feel more accepted, that's how they're able to further enter that side of things, because I just think there's a lot of people that are in the middle that kind of don't know where to go. And like you're saying, if you don't agree with one particular thing on the left, then you might be ostracized completely.
Then you are disgusted and you make them sick.
Exactly. Then you might just go over, God forbid you use the wrong terminology. Like everyone's still learning and all the rest of it. But anyway, this is not about our political
that's not about our politics. But message that man, find out what he's trying to say, do what you need to do for your, and also like you're in America, there is even as a black woman, there's a safety aspect to someone who's politically the other side of you. So find everything you need to find out to feel safe, to feel like you're happy, and if it's not, then you don't date that man again.
Agreed.
And we keep it moving. Last dilemma. Hey ladies, love the podcast. I started listening to you in 2020 while in the most stressful and mentally abusive relationship of my life. He went to jail for stalking me and still does it. Jesus Christ. Now I'm 26 and engaged to the love of my life, and we're expecting our first child. Congratulations.
Oh, congratulations.
I credit y'all for giving me the courage to leave, because I had no friends, and listening to you every week truly changed my brain chemistry so much. Oh my God, that's so lovely. We're so proud of you.
Thank you.
So thank you. We're so proud of you. Well done for leaving. My dilemma is about my best friend of almost 10 years. Trigger warning, domestic violence will be mentioned. Like I said, We had been friends for 10 years, and about 3 years ago, she got in a relationship with a man that was the absolute worst. He had a baby on her, gave her multiple STDs, forgot her birthday, and eventually beat her up and choked her until she passed out while I was on the phone to her. Jesus Christ, 5 hours away. He also put a strain on our friendship because I came from a very abusive household and was almost killed by my stepdad multiple times. So needless to say, this is extremely triggering for me as well. Obviously, not more than her. She left him after that, and it took a year of me forcing her to eat and get therapy to gain the almost 40 pounds she'd lost in the relationship. She's not a big girl, so she was very, very sick from the weight lost. Well, fast forward to a few months ago, 2025, and I find out I'm pregnant. She starts acting weird towards me, especially my fiance. She doesn't call to check on me, doesn't text. Everything she knows is from updates I decided to tell her, and when I did, she had no enthusiasm. I can tell it was performative. Anyway, I live in the same city as the ex-boyfriend. She moved away to literally escape him. One day, I see her location is in the city I live in. Weird, because she doesn't go to Walmart without telling me. So why is she 4 hours away from home and 10 minutes from me without saying a word? I figured she was going to surprise me, but to my surprise, 3 days go by and she hasn't said a word. Her location shows in a hotel the whole weekend, and then on Monday, she's on the road back home. I said something to her and she didn't respond for 3 days, simply saying she didn't want to see anyone. Weird, because why else would you come to my town? And I'm pregnant, but whatever. Come to find out, she is back with the guy and was with him the whole time. This hurts my feelings because there's never been a time I'm in the same city as her and didn't see her for at least a minute. And you're doing this over a guy who traumatized the both of us. Am I a bad person for cutting it off? My childhood trauma is very intense, and I can't be the friend to stick around and watch you get beat up. I would love your opinion. Thank you.
Oh God.
This is complicated because of the addition of your childhood trauma and also your past relationship. So it's complicated because I think if you didn't have that, I would say don't cut her off. I would say she needs you. And I know it's hard to be like, we've just got out of this situation. Like, as in, but we all know, like they say, it takes 7 times for a woman to leave a domestic abusive relationship. Like, and sometimes they don't leave because they are killed before they get to leave. Like, as in, it's harder than just, he treats you like shit, leave, man. Why won't you just leave? He used to beat you up, leave, man, leave, man. We all know it's harder than that. But also, I'm very aware that you need to take care of yourself as well. You're pregnant. This is bringing up a lot from you, from your stepdad, from your past relationship. So I don't even know if you can be there for her in the best way possible at the moment because of what it is. Maybe I would say don't completely cut her off. So just so she knows that if she needs, there's someone there that she can be like, I need help, I need thingy. But if you need to take the space, take the space.
No, literally, that's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say, don't cut her off completely to the point where she has no one or no connection to you. You can still keep that line of communication kind of there, but sometimes you have to love people from a distance, unfortunately. And I think that this is one of these situations. I totally agree. Like, you have a deep connection to this type of abuse as well, and the last thing you need is to constantly be triggered and, you know, to have these memories, like having flashbacks of these memories through your friend. And it's sad, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's awful that she's still in that situation. She's clearly being heavily manipulated. She's in a deeply, deeply abusive situation, and you live 5 hours away. There's only really so much you can do. And I hope and I pray that it doesn't end up a fatal situation and that she realizes sooner rather than later. But the fact that she's sneaking around kind of says everything you need to know. Do you know what I mean? I find it really interesting that people have each other's locations. I don't know if it's like, you know, because I don't really have anyone's locations, but obviously you've seen that she's clearly still in this relationship, and she's doing what she wants to do right now. And it's just like, I think sometimes when people are in abusive relationships, I think that as the outsiders looking in, we kind of remove their agency almost. And it's just like, she's doing what she wants to do right now. And although you know that she deserves better, she will have to come out of that situation on her own when she's ready. Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, I hope that, like I said, it happens sooner rather than later, but I just wouldn't leave her completely alone with nobody. I don't know who else knows about this situation, but the fact that you know about it, I do still think you have a somewhat duty of care towards her, but not on the same level that you would have had prior. Do you know what I mean? So I agree, like, don't cut her off completely. But at the same time, you've got to protect yourself. You just have to. You know, you can't be there for someone to the detriment of yourself. That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. And I think it's also worth talking about you saying that you feel like she hasn't been there for you or hasn't been as like happy for you with the whole you being engaged and you being pregnant. She's unhappy in herself. Like, I know the ideal is when good things happen to you, your friends should be so happy, whatever. But unfortunately, life doesn't actually work out like that. Sometimes the best times of your life is the worst time of your friends' lives, and she's unable to gather that enthusiasm that you want. It's not a nice thing to say. It's not a nice thing to admit. But like, I think one of the biggest flaws in friendship is that like, I think that, and we all do it. We all, every single, like, well, I do it, my friends do it, whatever. We all assume that, like, your friend has to override whatever she's feeling to deal in your joy or to deal in your sadness or to, like, do you know what I mean? Like, okay, cool. I know your life is falling apart. You're back with this abusive relationship. You're completely going through shit. But hey, I'm happy and I'm pregnant. And you want you expect your friend to be like, oh my God, yay. Like I said, I want everyone to be for real and be like, hey, this might actually affect her negatively. This might actually make her look at life and be like, what the fuck am I doing? Like I've heard older women speak about it where they're like they're at a point, they're like, I don't know, mid-40s, late 40s or whatever. All of their friends have had kids or whatever and they're still struggling. And it gets to the point that like, they can't go to another baby shower. They can't go to another, it's not even just older women. Like, I can't go to another thing. But I know I should be happy. I know I should be able to pretend. And I know I should be, but hey, this person, I've gone through this many miscarriages. I've lost this many children. It's actually really hard for me to come to your baby shower and be happy. It's actually really hard for me to get the message to know that, hey, I am pregnant. Like, those things are hard for me. And I think only people that have like, there's some friendships that are like kinship and sistership where the other person understands and it's like, hey, this is happening to me. I understand what you're going through. You don't need to be you don't need to be the person I call for all of these things because you know it's hard. And I think a lot of us, we don't like to see the real, like that's a real thing in friendships. That's why you know exactly why your friend's acting funny with you and your fiance. You know,
of course. And I don't even ever think it's for them. I think that honestly, a friend can still be really happy for you, but she just can't express it. Yeah, she just can't express it right now. And I think that like we need to do a lot of work to counter that narrative, because there was a narrative for ages like, no, you must be happy for your friend. If you're not happy for your friend at every single turn and every occasion, you're jealous and you're a bad person. Like, no, I want to counter that narrative because I don't think it takes away from your happiness for them. You can be happy for someone and sad for yourself. Like, and I think we need to give people that. You need to definitely give people that grace. And you've got to remember, especially in this situation, you've been able to walk away from an abusive relationship. Yep. She's still in one.
And found
something. Do you know what I mean?
So, and got engaged.
Exactly.
And now pregnant. Exactly. You've got the happy ending.
You've got the happy ending. So there's probably like there must be so much emotions on her side where she's thinking she hasn't been able to do that and she's still there kind of thing. So I would focus less on that and focus more on the kind of threat that's looming over her being in this relationship and just be there for her in the way you can be. Just give what you can.
Because we all have this thing, right? Do you know when there's, I can't remember when was it during COVID time or when there's like a bad thing that's happened in the world, right? We're all very aware of read the room. So let's say there's like, we've heard of world poverty or whatever, and then you have this rich person that's like, well, I've just checked into this multi-million hotel. Everyone's like, yo, read the room.
Yeah, no.
Why can't we do that with our friendships? We're like, yo, maybe she's not the one you should call for all of the happiness, because read the room.
Yeah, read the room, hun. Like, and
I'm not saying don't share your happy things with your friends, but don't have this expectations for them because, like, girl, read the room. She cannot give you that at the moment, and it's sad and it's not fair because you want this from this person. You think, but life is life.
Life is happening at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, be in your space, be happy, do what you need to do, look after yourself. Like, well done for leaving, well done for finding love and being where you want to be. But yeah, I think for your own, give her some space. And then go from there.
Yeah, that's the end, yeah.
But yeah, so that is it. That is it for this episode. If you guys have any advice, anything you lived some of the experiences, please help people out and talk up. But yeah, I've been your girl Tolly T.
And just call me Audrey.
Bye.